and you will find that all the answers you're looking for will come to you. But you gotta be in the receptive mode. I wasn't in no receptive mode, you know, but I knew. So I went and did the ultrasound because I'd already done the mammogram in September, and I did the ultrasound. An ultrasound, they put jelly, just like they do for the babies, and I did the ultrasound. Well, surprise, you have a mass on your breast. It's 4 by 5 centimeters. It's about this big, like a golf ball. And the ultrasound tech went and got the doctor immediately, the radiologist, and she came to me and said, I don't like how it looks. That's code for it's cancer. Yeah. You know, I don't like how this looks. I said, okay. But it's a process that you have to go through. So I did the ultrasound, and they said, you need to do a biopsy. So I called my girlfriend, and she says, you ain't going nowhere else. You're going to see Dr. Harris. He's the best of the best. You know, he's really good. He created his own technique for biopsies. He's at North Shore, and I'm going to sing his praise because he was amazing at North Shore. And I went in, and I did the biopsy. Again, you know what you know. And he rushed it, and a week later, he said, come back in. And my girlfriend had already did her biopsy, and she said, I'll go in with you. Now, I go in, and he says, he had his students with him, and he says to me and my girlfriend, hey, I'm going to give you your results, you know, and then Dr. Powell and I will talk. You know what that means. If you need extra time. So I went in after he spoke with her, and she's looking at him. What are they trying to, you know?
Sign language.
Because I'm short, you know, so they're trying to talk above my head because they're taller than me, you know, like I didn't see what was going on. But I already knew. And I sat there, and I waited, and I even told him he was looking, he was very serious, and he was really stressed about it. Because doctor to doctor, you know, we have respect for one another. And you never really want to give another professional, if you're a nurse or in the healthcare, you never want to give them the type of news that's going to change their life, you know. So I sat there, and at the time, since I already knew my fiance and my best friend was there with me, and I said, all right, doc, it's cancer, isn't it? I know. I saved him the struggle bus, you know. He said, yes, it is. It's stage 2-3. That means it had already gone into my lymph nodes. It's on the right side. It had already spread. And there's question whether it was in the sternal area also. So I'm like, all right, let's get this done. Let's cut this baby out and keep it moving. You know, I mean, some people are like, no, I don't want to do anything. So you think, what are your options? What can you do? No, we ain't doing no option. Take it out, get rid of it, and let's keep it moving. Because if something is offending the body, you want to get rid of it. Cut it out. They even say it in the scripture. If the eye offended thee, cut that baby out. Well, slow your roll, doc. And that's when the lesson began. That's when the lesson began. I had to move from the driver's seat of my life and enter the passenger seat. Have you ever been in a situation where you were always the driver? Yeah. You thought you were running things, and you had to move to the driver's seat. And I said at the time, you know, I do what you say I need to do, but I'm just telling you, listen to the words, I'm telling you, my doctor, what we're going to do. And I guarantee you, I've been treating women and few men with cancer for over 30 years. I've been doing talks for breast cancer every single year since before I got out of medical school. It was passionate to me because I had an aunt who had cancer, my mom had stomach cancer, she had colon cancer, I had lung cancer. We just cancer people in our family. I don't know what's wrong with that gene. We don't get much else, but we got the cancer running left to right. You know, so it made me not surprised. But I've been talking about this, and God is something else. He prepares you and you don't even know you're being prepared. Don't even know you're being prepared. And I was doing that talk. Every year I was having fundraisers for women going through breast cancer, because most insurance will pay for your treatments. But there's a whole lot of other things you gotta pay for. House cleaning, because you can't clean. Shopping, you can't, half the time you can't get up out of bed. Shopping, transportation, when you gotta go every single day to radiation, you know, or every 2 weeks for chemo. There's all this other stuff. Your hair fall out, them hair pieces, the wigs, the wraps, the, you know, therapy. So I was doing this, but never knew I was doing it for me. And that day in my doctor's office, Dr. Harris, my girlfriend starting to bawl, my fiance losing his mind. And he goes, "What you gonna do?" "I'm going back to work." It was 9 o'clock in the morning, and I went back to work. My girlfriend over here.
She did, even though she needed to rest, but
I don't know what's with the rest thing. You rest when you're dead, you know. You know, we get plenty of rest when you're dead. I have never been that person, you know. And so my story is that day I went back to work, because I knew for me, and you have to know for yourself, it wasn't going to change anything at that moment. I had a lot of preparation to do, and I had to prepare my office. But more importantly, I had to center myself. And one thing I knew medicine, so I'm going to do what I know. Because remember, I now got thrown out of the driver's seat, and I had to get back in the driver's seat somehow. So I went back to doing what I do. Meanwhile, they're like, "You didn't go to work, you didn't go where?" I didn't even start treatment yet. Why I need to go lie down for? But I did go back to work, and I immediately went and made a few calls, because I thought I could just lock the cancer out and get it moving. But I soon found out through a doctor, my surgeon, Dr. Rivers, no. There are 4 options if you don't know. There are 4 treatment plans. 1 is chemotherapy. What's chemo? Chemo is when they call it the poison. Poison is given to the body, and the poison attacks the fastest growing cells. Cancer cells are fast growing cells. So it goes directly to the fast growing cells, which is a cancer cell. And then you have the option of doing radiation also. Radiation is beams, like I thought it was a microwave. And radiation is what they do, targeted therapy to that area. Men get it for prostate cancer, they do it for other cancers, but they do it in breast cancer too. And in the day, thank the Lord it was 2021, because in the day, if it was 20 years later, they would have just radiated your whole chest, and you got burns everywhere, your neck all burned, your skin peeling off. But thank God it was 2021. You know, I always tell people, it's 2021. Don't avoid getting your mammogram. We're not in the dark ages anymore. Yes, yeah. You can ask them to get one. The majority of
In the back
people,
of it.
yeah.
Use the back of the bottom.
The majority of people are treated and cured from breast cancer in 2023. So don't be afraid to get your test. Don't be afraid to start treatment. So that radiation. And then she goes on to say, and then you have surgery. Sometimes they'll just do what they call lumpectomy, where just take that tumor out. If it looks like a seed, mine was a golf ball. There is no hope for that breast. So the next question was, what about the other breast? And I'm like, that gotta go too, because I'm not doing this again. Plus it already gone to spread over to the sternum area. So I was like, look, this is one road I'm going, it's a one-way street, we're not going back again. So let's go to surgery. Nope. I had to do a year of chemotherapy. It was 3 weeks. Then every third week I went for chemo on a Friday from 8 in the morning, 8 hours with the IV. I even got a port for it. Because again, I told you about the needles. I can't stand needles, so I ended up getting a port. I still have the scar. Because being needles, can you imagine me going every 3 weeks and someone sticking me in my arm? We're not doing that. So some people don't want the port, they don't want nothing about, no, you give me my port. Ching! They put the needle, hang the IV, and I went every 3 weeks. Now here's the truth. People think when you get chemo, you get skinny. They lie. It's not true. Some people respond because they have a lot of vomiting. Sometimes they can't eat. And my first month was like that. My whole mouth, everything my best friend would cook, Karen, I said it tastes like pepper. Everything was pepper and cotton balls, peppers and cotton balls, every day, peppers and cotton balls. I don't know if you guys know that, because it changes your taste, it takes away. Cells in your mouth are fast growing cells, so it gets rid of that. Cells in your stomach are fast growing cells. That's why people get nauseated. Did you know that nausea has to do with constipation? If you don't know, I learned it then. I was bloated, I was gassy, and I didn't know why I felt nauseated. Because I wasn't going to the bathroom because the medicine had changed my entire digestive system. And so chemo was Friday. I partied on Saturday. And on Sunday, I went down. For an entire week, I couldn't get out of a chair. I had made a decision from my chair. Do I go to the couch, to the chair, or to the bed? Those were my decisions for a week. Anybody have breast cancer in here? You know what I'm talking about. You make a decision like, you're so weak. You feel like you have the flu. Yes.
What about bone cancer? Is it different?
Bone cancer is a cancer where the cancer is in the bone, so you have more aching and pain. But I never had pain from the breast cancer, you know? Well, what I did is the medication. Bone cancer and pancreatic cancer gives pain. But breast cancer didn't get pain. But I'm telling you, that chemo had me feel like I had the flu for an entire week. Weak and tired and drained. But then after that, it was party on. I was back to work for 2 weeks. And I went back to work. And then the third week came and I was back down again. And I did that for a year. And in August, I went, after 8 months in chemo, I did a double mastectomy. Took out both breasts. And here's what they don't tell you. I have a whole book I'm writing, what they don't tell you about chemo. I had a wonderful plastic surgeon, Dr. Yates, who worked with my oncology surgeon when they took the breasts off. They actually went to surgery together and did the surgery. That is not usual. And if you can get both the plastic reconstructive surgeon with you there when you do the surgery. They put in Tupperware. Seriously, I'm gonna call it Tupperware. It's hard like Tupperware. I couldn't lay on my chest. I couldn't lay on my side. I had to sit up because it was so hard. And you had to leave that in there for 6 months. 6 months of Tupperware. I had to go because it was so hard. And they didn't tell you. Oh, we're putting in expanders. It has a cute name. It's called expanders. Oh, okay. Expand that chest. Give me some cuteness. No, it was Tupperware. It literally felt like one of them plastic dishes. And they were painful and they were hard. When you talk about breast, the breast cancer wasn't painful. It's that surgery and the Tupperware, the expanders.
The replacement.
The replacement. And you had to do it for 6 months because you can't put in the real the prosthesis because they won't, the skin, you have to know how the skin is doing, and I had to now go into radiation. I didn't just do chemo, I didn't just do surgery, I also had to do radiation because it had spread. And guess what? Dr. Rivers, my oncologist surgeon, said, of all the things you're gonna do, radiation is gonna be the easiest. And she was right. Every day, for 30 minutes, I went, and then I went right back to work. I wasn't weak, I wasn't nauseated, I just went back to work. And I went through 25 days of doing this straight. It was only towards the end you got a little tired. And I had a wonderful Dr. Inglesia, radiation oncologist at North Shore, and he gave me a secret. He said, Silvadene is your best friend. Every day put that baby on, rub that thing like moisturizer on the area. Silvadene. And for the burns, and massage your skin every single day, and massage it. But you couldn't have anything on your skin for radiation. But afterwards, make sure you put massage it in. And look, you want to talk about a soldier? You tell me one thing, I did it. And my skin held up really well, so that in April I was able to trade out the Tupperware and put in the prosthesis. You know, so now they're jiggling, baby. That got real deals, you know. But I'm still doing chemo all the way until January because I had to do all three. Not everybody will have to do all three, you know. So I share this story because I'm still standing. I'm still standing. And I want anybody out there who sees this and who you have friends, stop being afraid. Stop being afraid. And most things we're afraid of is dying. We're gonna die anyway.
Yes.
This is not our permanent existence. But right now in 2023, we have so many ways of treating cancers, not just breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, bone cancer. Stop being afraid. And I will always teach you, how do you stop being afraid? You stop being afraid by killing it with knowledge. You kill fear with knowledge. Anytime you start thinking something, you're afraid of something, get as much information as you can about it. But here's one thing that I did, and I recommend it for everybody from day one. And I always share this with you. I did my forgiveness work. You cannot ask for healing if you hold anger, hatred, resentment in your heart. It's working against the universe. So first thing I did was ask for forgiveness, and I forgave. The second thing I did, and it was already known, I got my family together, I met with them, I gave them the news one time that night and said, okay, we're done here. Now y'all have the story, we're not gonna guess about what's going on. But the second thing I did, I refused to entertain a negative thought or word. As you think, so you manifest. And what that meant I didn't read the side effects. Some people get the book, you go to the pharmacist, you open it up, okay, they're gonna call me diarrhea, or I'm gonna get swelling, and you open it up, you get your dictionary, you go to Dr. Google, and you be looking up every single side effect that could possibly happen, and you don't realize that it goes straight into your brain, and then into your body. You get an itch, oops, it's gonna be a skin rash. Ooh, I got diarrhea, that must be the medication. Oh, my tongue hurt. Everything you start matching up with what you're reading, and you start claiming it. So I said, no, I'm not gonna read the side effects. In fact, I just read, this is 2 years ago later, I just read up on one of my medications. And that's because I've been having these random hives that just pop up on my body where welts start coming up. So I said, I wonder if it's something I'm taking, you know? That's the only time. But while I was doing the treatment, no. I didn't read about any negativity. And anybody wants to, well, you know, my sister did radiation and, you know, I don't think you should because got my cross out, pulled it out and like, get thee behind me, you know? Yes, no, I was not entertaining anybody's sad story, you know? All my energies had to go into healing. And the third thing I did every single day was claim my healing. Amen. From the top of my head to the soles of my feet, I'm healed. Amen. Every day, morning and night, from the top of my head to the soles of my feet, I'm healed. Every day. Every day. You know, and thy will be done. Amen. That's it. That's it. And I share this with you because it may not be cancer that you're going through. It may be a chronic illness like diabetes that's under control, or blood pressure that won't, or kidney disease, or something else. But you gotta start with a clean heart. You cannot affect change in your life when you're holding crap. Yeah. You know? Your house is polluted. Scripture says, before you come to my altar, you have forgiveness with your brother. Repent. You know? And so I had to do that. And I'll tell you another story later, but and then the second thing, like I said, I didn't entertain foolishness, not a negative thought, not gonna, and there's plenty to read on the negative. I'm telling you, there's plenty out there. And they said, don't do chemo, they'll kill you, or cancer. You know, my hair fell out after two weeks. Poof. Bold as my forehead. And it grew back. You know? That which does not kill you only make you stronger. Yes. Yeah. But I share with you, if you know people who are running, not doing what they need to do because of fear, encourage them. Go with them. Help them. Because it will save their life. Yes. All right? So that, I've had to share my story for breast cancer awareness. I thank you for letting me share that story.